There we go.
Here we are.
You feeling better now?
Yes, all recovered. Thank you.
I had a few messages worrying about you, where you were, and
Really?
no.
So he said you
Still alive, but you succumb to the virus.
succumb to something, definitely. Got quite a lot to talk about this week. There's lots going on. Tried to put a list together without including Trump, but failed because it's the second item on my list. But let's ignore his possible success in Israel and Palestine conflict and talk about his East Wing renovation project to create a new ballroom that I read could accommodate between 600 and 900 people.
Looks nice.
It's although he said it wouldn't affect the actual sort of outside of the building, it just seems to be they've knocked the whole thing down.
Very much affecting it. Yeah, I did see a clip of him when he first mooted the idea that he wouldn't touch the main building.
Yeah,
but it seems to pretty much be the main building now.
I just think it's going to be a monstrosity. It's not going to match the existing White House. That's my fear. There's some great AI generated videos on TikTok of it incorporating a KFC drive-through or a McDonald's drive-through, and it's just, I don't know. If you do a search online for any of our listeners there and look for pictures of the Oval Office when Joe Biden was in, and then pictures of the Oval Office now. They covered it on If I Got News For You on Friday night, last Friday, and it's just gold bling, and it's just a monstrosity. And if he's got any say in the design of this new wing, it's just going to be awful.
I tend to think he probably has. And they say it's $250 million, isn't it, to build, which he's going to fund apparently with other sponsors. But he's already done, I was going to say tarmac, he's already paved over the Rose Garden, hasn't he? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, got rid of the Rose Garden. Yeah, I mean, it's just...
But his other plan is, which I saw, which I've got no reason to disbelieve, is he's going to build, I don't know whereabouts, but the Arc de Trump, which looks, I mean, you guessed it, looks just like the Arc de Triomphe, but just outside, I presume, or on the way into the White House, the Arc de Trump, which will look lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, ready for his hotel as well when he finally sorts out the Middle East and slightly worrying, but there we are. I'm sure he's perfectly sane, and although there is now actual official concern, isn't there, around
his health?
Yeah, and whether he's got dementia or not, because he seems to just come out with wrong facts and misremembers. But it'll be all right.
Don't we all?
And now he's obviously blowing up. Is it boats from Venezuela or something?
Yeah, and he's sent the biggest aircraft carrier down there. I think he's just going to create a little domestic war. Although
what he seems to have overlooked is the actual facts behind it, in that fentanyl doesn't actually come from Venezuela. So that's...
Don't let the facts get in the way of
this. Is a minor issue. But we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah. Enough said about Trump. Let's just try and be original and not let him dominate, although he does give us a lot of material. But somebody else that I fear is going to give us a lot of material over the coming weeks and months is Andrew. I don't think we can call him Prince Andrew anymore.
I think we can at the moment. And to be fair, he has already given us a little bit of news, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But now the book's been published.
Yeah.
And he stepped back from his titles, or his titles have stepped back from him. I'm not sure which.
No. But of course he's never met, I don't know why you mentioned the book, because he's never met that woman that he paid $12 million to.
Yes. Yeah.
So why mention the book?
Yeah, that was quite I don't know if you sent it to me or I sent it to you, the meme of the family fortunes, which was quite amusing.
I've seen that.
Which was we asked 100 people what you would give to someone you'd never met before.
Oh, yes.
And the answer was $12 million.
Yeah, $12 million, yeah. I think he's come to a point now where he just needs to go into exile, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Give up that lodge, 30 bedrooms, and it's only him and Ginger Winger living there.
Yeah.
Just go, live a quiet life. He's not young, hasn't got a long life ahead of him particularly.
Does he get a pension at the moment? You know, is he that age?
But he's not. He's not a poor man, is he?
Well, I think I'm not sure.
Well,
he hasn't been paying rent, and Fergie seemed to be getting all her money off of what's his name, Epstein. So I'm not sure. No, and that's part of the problem. No one really knows where he's getting his money from, if he's getting money.
But he's got a palace in Abu Dhabi, I think, which he was gifted. Just go there.
Yes.
Just keep a low profile, keep out of the public. But I think it's an ego thing where he doesn't want to give up any of his titles and his medals and his...
Absolutely, yeah. He's all about the ego, and he's a twat, basically.
Yeah.
Hearing some of the stories about him.
Asking your protection officer, who's there to protect you, asking him to do some investigating and dig up dirt on this woman.
Yes.
That he never met, that he gave 12 million quid to.
Yeah.
It's just immensely arrogant, and I've heard him, the way he talks to some people. The interview that he did with on the BBC. The arrogance there.
Yeah, was that I was going to say about Andrew? I can't think what it was now.
It's a tosser.
Apart from that, was it to do with his protection officer? Yes, it was that, because that's all going to unravel, I think, now. In fact, it went quiet again. But the bloke who was, Lord, who was head of the royalty protection team at the time, commander someone or other, is now quite high up in the royal household. So I think it's all going to unravel as to who knew what when about him being asked. And interestingly, and I found this out by coincidence this week, that why he joined the police, I'm not too sure, this bloke, because he's the King's cousin.
He joined the police?
He joined the police, yeah. He worked his way up to the... Well, worked his way up. He got to the rank of commander, oversaw royalty protection, and obviously when this protection officer got asked to dig up dirt, whether he reported that upwards, and if he did, how high up did it go, and what did they do, and then this bloke leaves the job, and now he's in the royal household, and it's all a bit... Yeah, it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well, and see, ultimately Andrew could end up in court for this. It should be amusing. I think. See how that goes. Yeah,
I think you're right. I think this is going to give us a lot of material over the next few months. But he definitely needs to just take a low profile and keep out of the news, which is easier said than done for him. But while we're on the subject of sex offenders, the prison service released the sex offender, the migrant sex offender, who was the cause of the Epping disturbances, because he was the very same guy that committed the sex offence in Epping and then got prosecuted and went to prison. But they released him in error. He probably couldn't believe his luck.
Well, he tried to get back in, apparently, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, 4 or 5 times he went, and he was obviously expecting to be deported.
Right.
And they let him out, and he didn't know where to go. And if a couple of witnesses are to be believed, 4 or 5 times he went back into reception and said, I'm supposed to be deported, and they went, no, on your way.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's even worse.
Yeah. It's just bizarre, and I suppose the bigger question is as well that, does it surprise me? No, but it might surprise some people that it was only, I think, a couple of months ago that he got convicted, and he got 12 months. Did he get 12 months, I think? So
I think he got 12 or 14 months.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be, obviously, upon his prison time being served, which is obviously Friday, he was supposed to be taken to a deportation centre, or detention centre. And again, the prison he was in, it's like, you can write it because it's a prison that deals with a lot of remand prisoners and detention prisoners. So it should have been a smooth process. They get him out and go, off you go.
Yeah.
Well, not off you go, but I'll hand him over to the authorities to take him to a detention centre and then send him on a big metal tube to Ethiopia. But
he wants to go, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. Which is maybe, to be fair to him, I mean, he doesn't appear to actually commit any offences, and I don't obviously condone what he did to start with, but maybe he was, if you come from Ethiopia, maybe he thought that's the way they do things over here. You find your own way to the airport, maybe.
Yeah.
Because he was asking directions, wasn't he?
Self-deportation.
Yeah. So he he clearly didn't want to remain at large that long. Bearing in mind he'd kept his prison tracksuit on.
Yeah.
Because you think the first thing he'd do, wouldn't he, is go and nick some other clothes and put a hat on. And
yeah, but it doesn't. The tracksuit isn't what I was expecting. It doesn't have HMP something on the back.
No.
It's just a grey tracksuit.
No.
Wouldn't it be better if it was like in the US where it's bright orange, or it literally has,
Yeah, it's an idea, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm a resident at whatever prison written on it.
Yeah, I suppose they do that maybe because some of the people they do release correctly, and they have to be like inconspicuous, although it's a grey tracksuit.
So it wasn't his prison wear, it was his sort of...
No, it's his prison wear.
It's his demob.
But some people will lawfully be released like that because they've got no other clothes. But when you said it wasn't what you expected, I thought you were going to say like you thought it was going to be an Adidas tracksuit or a
Gymshark,
something like that.
Under Armour or something. Yeah.
No, he didn't. He didn't seem very good at being on the run.
Well, the 3 days isn't bad. I mean, I don't know if you watched the Hunted programme on Channel 4.
Yeah.
They seem to track people down in a couple of days.
Yeah. And he only had 70 quid, didn't he? So, to be fair, he's done his best, isn't he? But I just don't understand. Well, I do understand. All the police resources that were deployed to it is just one. It's just one mess. And I wouldn't say I feel sorry for Keir Starmer, but it just does seem the world's conspiring against him because something happens and it dies down, and then something else happens. And I think it was Yusuf from Reform said today. It's the country is descending into a Monty Python sketch, really. Yeah,
no, it is embarrassing, but not quite as embarrassing as our friends across the channel in France. There's a break-in in the Louvre where lots of valuables were kept, and there's a couple of things with this I thought was really strange. The burglars got in. I mean, they broke in during the day.
Yeah.
They used a extending ladder, like a fireman's ladder.
Yeah.
Which happened to be next to the building. So they just literally turned it around to get up to a balcony. And the museum was open when they got in. And I've seen some videos. I don't know if the videos are real, but seem to suggest they're breaking into glass cabinets while there's people walking around.
Yeah.
Because they've got high-vis vests on, people are assuming that they're allowed to do that.
But I think maintenance is quite often carried out with a chainsaw. So it's probably why I didn't say anything and just thought, well, surely no one would attempt that. So, and again, it's technicalities, but so it's not even a burglary, is it? It's open. It's just a theft. But what are they going to do with them? It's another matter.
They've arrested people now. I don't know if they've recovered the stolen items, but I thought it was very strange that France seems to keep all of its national treasures in one place. And there was a rumour that these items that were stolen weren't insured. So,
well, no one's going to nick them, are they? That's the point. Who's going to nick them?
Well,
these blokes, yeah.
These two. But they've been arrested, so obviously Inspector Clouseau has been assigned to track them down, and there's been some success. But I was wondering why you would go to the effort of stealing things that are too hot to handle. I mean, you wouldn't be able to sell that sort of crown, or it can only be to break it down.
That was their working theory, wasn't it? It was either for an art, something like James Bond. Someone who's got £1 billion collection who wanted them stolen to order. Or as simple as just break them down and what have you. But then I suppose if you can do that, then
just nick any old gold.
You might as well go to Ratton. Well, not really diamonds in Ratton, are they?
Elizabeth Duke.
Yeah, just go anywhere if you want just some diamonds, because a diamond's a diamond at the end of the day. It's its collective value.
Yeah, I don't know why you would go to the trouble of. Well, you'd say the Louvre was the most highly protected building in Paris, but maybe not if they got in that easily.
I just know that. I mean, I'm presuming someone's checked the Tower of London, make sure nothing's gone missing from there. But our ones,
we've got the beefeaters. Don't cross the beefeaters.
Yeah, but they've probably put an extra layer of glass in or something just to make sure the orb or whatever it's called.
But you wouldn't nick the orb, would you? Because it's if I walked in here and said, "Oh, look what I've got," I bought this on eBay.
I'd wonder if there's a bulge in your pocket.
You'd be, it's of no use, is it? It might be worth millions and millions.
Yeah.
You can't think, well, if I put it on eBay for $1 million, I'm made for life, and
No,
it's going to sell really quickly.
But I suppose if you know the right car boots how to go to, when I was going to ask any questions. Yeah, it's an option. It'll all come out in the wash, I'm sure, as to who and why and what the plan was. But I see that the company who make the ladder thingy that they use, they've made the most of it, haven't they, with their marketing.
Has there been a nice bit of advertising?
Yeah, I think it went along the lines of, it's perfect for any job at height or whatever, but not intended for burglaries or something like that. You've got to make the most, haven't you?
Very funny.
Yeah, very funny.
So I've got a couple of other things to raise while we're talking about prosecuting criminals. A woman has been fined £150 for pouring away the remains of a coffee down a drain from a reusable cup.
Okay.
This was in London, and the council concerned have since backed down because of the adverse publicity. Crazy, isn't it?
So she's presumably seen to do it then?
Yeah, I think she was seen by some council busybodies. I guess the same people that will fine you if you drop a cigarette butt or some litter. And I guess it's under those sort of regulations that they've tried to slap this £150 fine on her.
So she's got fined on the spot for pouring some coffee down the drain.
Yeah.
Which is intended to take liquid.
Yes. Waste. Yeah.
Yeah, am I struggling? Gets back to Monty Python, doesn't it, really?
And she's using a reusable cup, so she's trying to prevent waste.
Yeah.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
It is slightly strange, but they're back down. As long as they're back down, just...
Yeah. It's just, I just think it's overzealous council busybodies. And then the only other thing, it's not really news, and I know we try and talk about news, but a couple of weeks ago, Michael Caine and Alan Shearer were ambassadors for a petition to the PM to ban smacking, which I think is absolutely the right thing to do. But I just thought it was a strange collaboration.
Well, the ambassadors, have they got a collective name?
I think there's some sort of cause or charity that is trying to outlaw smacking. I just thought it's strange that those two, they're obviously both parents, but I thought it was an unusual collaboration.
Anyone else in their group? Have a quick Google, see if there's if they're ambassadors. There might be some other high-profile people that are also joining the. I take it they're against sort of smacking of kids.
Yes.
They're not. It's not like saying you can't have a good pub fight or anything and smack someone.
No, it was definitely smacking children.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
There's all sorts of another odd one.
Yeah, it is odd. Sky News were running the story, but I can't find any sort of reasoning behind it now.
Because I thought it was outlawed anyway, isn't it? Smacking. It's a situation.
Yes, you are sort of right. I think it's just in England.
Oh, okay. Right.
I think
they are
Scotland,
English,
Wales, and Jersey.
You can do what the fuck you like.
Strangely, it is outlawed. Physical violence to punish children.
Oh, so it's outlawed in those countries, but not in England.
But not in England. So it's to try and extend this ban, this law, and I think, rather predictably, it was NSPCC and Barnardo's that are calling for this.
They're behind everything, weren't they?
Yeah, they're killjoys. But I'm not particularly bothered about smacking. I think it should be outlawed, but I just was curious as to why Alan Shearer and Michael Caine are putting themselves forward as
ambassadors
for this particular law change.
Anti-smacking. Yeah, well.
Strange.
That's
my list. You've got some things?
I've got a couple of bits. Yeah, going back to the not back to the Ethiopian, but on the theme of rubber dinghies, and I think the average number of people on a rubber dinghy is probably about 55 or 60.
Yeah.
The one in, one out scheme, which seems to be being ramped up, so fair play. But there seems to be a slight problem in that you can have one in, one out, who then comes back again. So the chap from, I don't know who he's from, might be in Ethiopia or somewhere else. But brazenly, got deported. And I suppose it's a bigger question as to why they deported back to France. Why not take them further? Give them a real challenge. If you know they're going to try and come back again, then take them to, I don't know, Australia or somewhere else.
But shouldn't it be back to... I think the law, from my days in dealing with such matters, which surprises you, but I used to deal with such matters, I think the law is that you deport them to the country that they came from.
Yeah.
And of course, they're all on the boats. They're all coming from France because they've walked from Iraq or Ethiopia and eventually end up in France. And then when they get to the UK, we want to deport them. It's back to the...
But isn't that the problem to start with? That they can't deport them straight away because they don't know where they've come from, although everyone does know where they've come from. I.e., clearly they're in a rubber dinghy and they wouldn't have come from, Portugal.
Yeah, but I guess there's a sort of technicality that you do need to know their nationality, even though they've come from France. So you could come into this country if you didn't have a visa to come to this country. Let's say I don't know what nationalities need visas, but let's say Ethiopian people need a visa to come into this country. They could fly to France and then fly from France to here.
Yeah. With
no visa, and then they would get returned to France because that's where they come from.
But that's easy.
They're Ethiopian.
But you know the plane they're on, don't you? So
but you know the rubber dinghy they're on.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't deport them back to Ethiopia, even though they hold an Ethiopian passport. You'd deport them back to France or
But
Belgium.
I thought the whole issue was, although everyone knows they've come from France, obviously with a plane, you can ask the pilot where you come from, and he says France. Whereas the dinghy, they all go, I'm just here, I want to sign. Anyway, so
when you wash up on the beach in Brighton and they say where have you come from, you could say Eastbourne.
Could do, yeah, could do. But my understanding was that's why they weren't. How we got in this whole mess, in that because they haven't got any documentation. We all know they've come from France, but you can't prove they've come from France. No. But anyway, so going back to him, he obviously thought he liked it so much he came twice. But the whole thing's a bit of a mockery because I know someone that does deportations as well, particularly to Albania, and they make no secret of saying they take their money for their deportation and get flown to Albania and then sell up. I'll see you next week. Yeah. And back they come.
Yeah, which makes me think that I thought these people were spending their life savings on the dinghy, by these organised crime groups. They can't be doing that if this chap could afford to do it twice. And also, I thought the boat trip was such a horrendous experience that why would you do that twice? Yeah,
I think on the subject of spending kind of life savings first time around, you're probably absolutely right. But then I think you can get some good tips on Deliveroo and the like.
So he's just built up his.
So he's built up a bit of an account. Yeah, he's built up some money in the current account. Plus, there's some good deals on the moment if you swap your current account around, you can get some free money. So he's probably then used that the second time. I would imagine.
Makes sense.
And now there's obviously a massive deterrent. You can think, well, even if I get caught, put in detention, there's a pretty good chance they'll just let me out anyway and send me to the nearest train station with 70 quid in my pocket. Who else I want to talk? Oh yeah, Nick Adderley. He's Adderley or Alderley. Anyway, he was going back a few months ago, he was the Chief Constable of Northampton. Quite well thought of, apparently, nice bloke. But it all unravelled when someone spotted that he was wearing a Falklands medal, which he couldn't have served in because someone worked out that he would have been about 14 at the time. Yeah, and he tried batting it off by saying, well, it's my brother's or something, and they said, well, you should wear it on the other side, you should wear it on behalf of someone else. So it's all unravelled now for old Nick. And he's been charged with fraud. And again, he was the Chief Constable of Police Force, and he's been charged. And as with all these things, it started with a kiss. It started with a medal, and then they've looked back, and it was things like when he applied for the Chief Constable's job, he said that he'd been in the Navy for 10 years, and it had only been 2, and that he went to I forget what it is, the famous naval college down on the coast, obviously, and he hadn't gone there at all. He'd applied for it, and I think his defence was that I really wanted to, but he put on his CV that he had done it. So it's all.
Why would you said he was well respected police officer, so potentially might have police medals anyway.
Yeah.
Why would you? If you didn't have any medals, then you could probably understand you would want one.
Yeah.
But if you've already got a couple that you've gained from your own merit, why would you?
I think the ones he probably had were probably from the ones that you get for
swimming and
swimming,
right.
and being alive and in service when Queen of the Jubilee or something or other.
So they're not real saved.
No, there's not. I mean,
no,
some are giving out for that, bravery medals. So you can get some good ones, some nice shiny ones to wear, but a lot are. Or you can get the Queen's Police Medal. I don't know if you ever got that or not. That would have been ironic as well. Or the King's Police. Well, they wouldn't have got the King's Police because I think he'd been suspended by now. But you can get some out of the ordinary ones, but a lot of them are, just happen to be around, a bit like Blue Peter ones. To be around for the Olympics.
Right place, right time.
Yeah, did a little bit on the Olympics, or were about at the right time for a wedding or whatever. So, Nick could go to prison as well, which could be awkward. I mean, I might end up cellmate with Andrew, the artist formerly known as Prince.
Very awkward.
Yeah. And the only other thing I've got, I've got two other things, if I may, just indulge me, is the Chinese embassy, which has taken another turn. In that they've obviously applied for I say obviously.
It'd be quite funny actually if we just stopped the podcast now, just cut it. The listeners would think that the Chinese have switched us off. But no, you carry on with yours. Let's run the risk.
Yeah.
See if anyone knocks at the door in a minute.
So the China, it's taken another twist with the spy case, the case that was dropped because are they a hostile state or aren't they? Which might be the reason it's led to this slight problem that is the British government or whoever going to give permission for the planned permission to dig down and build. I mean, you think the ballroom at the East Wing's big, whatever they're going to dig there, and they're talking about, it could be listening rooms and all this sort of stuff, which clearly it is, but they don't want to upset them.
But even, I guess if it's an embassy, you can't. I was going to say, wouldn't the government have some sort of control over what goes in there? But an embassy has this funny thing, doesn't it, where it's the property of the US or the Chinese, even though it's in the UK. So you can't just march in there and say, show us your spy lab.
But I think they still need planning permission to adjust it.
Right.
So you can't
change of use.
You can't just walk in there. Yeah.
It's not a coffee shop anymore. It's
not a coffee shop. It's not a hotel. It's now a migrant hotel. So I think although you can't go in there, you still need building permission. And I think clearly everyone knows that it's going to be a spy centre, and
because of course the British embassy in China isn't.
No, it won't be.
It'll just be an office.
It'll just be an office.
Civil servants will be in there.
Yeah,
dealing with people that have lost their passports.
Yeah, because I know the point you're making, but the Chinese are quite savvy and will go, no, you're not building anything. Whereas we seem to want to get on with them. If they build a nice takeaway or something as well, then maybe so. But I think they're talking about also all the cables for the sensitive information runs under London. They'll be able to tap into them. Anyway, we'll see where it goes. I think it's December. The planning permission will be denied or not, and it's a bit of a no-win really, because if they say no, it'll piss the Chinese off. Yeah. And if they say yes, in your very valid point, no one will ever be able to go in there to say, you said this was going to be a few bedrooms. Yes. You seem to have a nuclear bunker here. That's that. And then the other thing I had was, going back to the prison thing, drones. So if you saw the few items on Sky this week it's been going for a long time. The increasing use of drones to drop weapons and drugs into prisons during the night, which, I go back to Monty Python really. How do we get to a stage where people can just deliver stuff, and they're now talking, the biggest concern being that they could get drones soon that can just lift people out. So you won't need a helicopter escape. Yeah. Although again, I go back to my previous point that why waste a drone? If there's a very good chance you'll just get released by mistake anyway. Yeah, just stick around. Yeah. Make yourself obvious to people and they'll release you. I think the answer with the drones is there is the technology to bring a drone down. It's not. I don't think it's a secret that I'm going to get prosecuted for, but it is available at a lot of airports. There are private companies that will jam a drone signal
places like airports. And why don't we have that at prisons?
I think money. If we haven't got enough prison cells and enough prison officers, I think that is a little bit of a luxury. Things like security and detection devices, that's a little bit.
Maybe some of the prison officers should stop shagging the inmates and walk around the grounds looking for drones.
I think they do, to be fair. I think in between their, let's call them meal breaks, they do.
I don't think it can be.
But they can see them and then
How many prisons are there in this country, do you think?
How many prisons?
Yeah.
Oh, I did know this once. Do I get a bonus point?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say about 40.
40.
Yeah.
It can't be that expensive, can it? This machine or this gun that will bring the drone down. I mean, it just zaps it with some sort of radio wave.
Yeah.
40 of those.
I think they're quite expensive. And we've got the budget coming up. You seem to maybe forget we are broke.
All right. What about? Do you remember when we were kids, spud guns?
Yes. Because I'm not sure that's being considered on a bigger version.
Yeah.
Actually,
rather than a little chip of potato, a whole potato.
Fire the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Why not? Let's leave it there and maybe send that one in.
Prisons have kitchens have potatoes.
Yeah.
If that gets used, I hope this podcast gets credited for that initiative.
Okay. Well, is there anything else, or was that?
No, I think we peaked right at the end.
It's more than enough. Good.
Thank you for listening, everyone. Join us again.
That's us then for another week, and as we've said before, if we could be at all bothered, we'll do another one next week. But to avoid us doing all the work, you're really welcome to have your input. If you have a gripe that really grinds your gears, then please share it with us.
You can contact us via the website www.grumpy-pod.com or WhatsApp direct to us on 07873 207 206. We have a no woke agenda, so the slightest hint of woke or apologetic slant, your message will be filtered straight to the deleted folder. However, if your gripe is suitably amusing and needs our expert opinion, we will include it in the next pods. Thanks for listening and hope you can join us again soon. Bye.